little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of shadows.
Hello, I'm Renia, aka Media Adaptation, and welcome back to Moderation's 31 Days of Halloween. We'll do a video each day based on your suggestions. And today we're covering an off-brand story that we found 2 episodes back. Mostly because of the sunk cost fallacy, and I generally didn't know that there was more than one story. So, we're going to take a look at the first appearance of Hachishaku-sama, in a title that roughly translates out to 8 Feet Tall's 8 Stories. The book is framed with our main character getting stuck in the rain, and you just know he's an off-brand protagonist, because, well, just look at that haircut. He's picked up by a taxi, and he remarks on the driver's height, which gets him in the mood to tell ghost stories to pass the time. And story 1 is of course our title character, Hachishaku-sama, and does a good job of telling her legend. One day a boy sees a tall figure on the other side of their large fence, and after telling his parents, they recognize the ghost and try sealing him away, to keep her from sucking out his soul. Her other powers are mimicry, the ability to make any sound they want, which is normally used to trick the victim into breaking the seal and opening the door. She could also do the same with images, either projecting herself somewhere else, allowing herself to look like anything she wants. So of course in this kind of story, she's basically a succubus, and the two actually fall in love. While drained, his parents find him alive, and try to get him out of her area of effect, while he sees her outside, teary-eyed, begging him to stay. The only thing that the others see is a ghost. She comments on how that's a horror story from the angle of everyone from the outside, but for the two involved, it was a tragedy. So then it's her turn to pick a story, and she tells The Mystery of the Mountain, Yamanoke. And since we just covered the story not too long ago, to summarize, a pair go to the mountains, and get lost in the woods, come across a one-legged ghost that targets the girl, trapping her within her own body, unable to scream as it attacks her. Upon waking up, she mutters the same phrase as the ghost, and is taken to a temple, and her ultimate fate is unknown. After that, the next one didn't actually get a title drop like the others, so I have no idea what it's actually called. But for simplicity's sake, story 3 is Marble. It's about a new girl who comes to town, and everyone is taken by her beauty. She befriends a local and takes her to her house, who's stunned to see that her mom's almost as beautiful as she is. She finds a strange marble statue, and learns that the two value beauty above all else, and will go to any lengths to preserve it. The next one on our list is another one that I actually did before. Story 4, Kankandaran, the Betrayed Priestess. It's about 2 boys going to check out an area that was sealed off, and run afoul of this being. But she really isn't evil, as her backstory is also tragic. She was a powerful priestess who wanted to protect a town from a large snake demon. The battle lasted long, and to them there was no victory in sight. So they offered the priestess to the snake and cut off her limbs. The snake might have been a dangerous being, but so was the power that she possessed as well. After that, story 5, Shishinoki. A group of girls go camping in the woods, and late at night, one of them hears something and wanders off. The others wake up and go looking for her, only to find this beast, said to be the offspring between a god and a demon, and is now making a meal out of their poor friend. The next story is a bit of a cop-out, as number 6 is the story of Cowhead, which is the tale of something so terrifying that even hearing it could kill you. We also did a video covering this one before, and he rightfully calls her out that no one actually knows the true story, which may or may not have a life of its own. So she tells a similar story, which is basically a variation on the origins of the Minotaur, and I'll just leave it at that. And the second to last is another fan favorite from this channel that we've covered in the past, Kuni Kuni at the Twisted Cloth. 2 kids are out in their parents' field, as something catches one of their eye. One of them looks through the binoculars as their dad begs them to stop. But it's too late. This being is normally portrayed as a cloth or a scarecrow, and so much as even looking at it will drive you insane. And like our first story, they tried to save him by locking him away, but they eventually break in. And what he sees is a group of beautiful pale women. But in the morning, we see what they truly are. Also not mentioned in the story, but their touch can kill you. And our final story is a very odd choice, as this one has absolutely zero fan service. Story 8, The Monkey Train. A girl has a dream and sees a monkey driving a train. Realizing that this is a dream, she decides to go ahead and write it before she wakes up. But after she sits down, she can no longer move, as strange imps appear, and by the conductor's request, as they dismember the last girl in the row. After a bit, he calls out again for eye gouging, and the imps use grapefruit spoons to do as they are told. And as the conductor calls out for her, she manages to barely wake up in time. She breathes a sigh of relief, but sees the conductor promising that they'll finish it next time she falls asleep. No one ever heard from her ever again, so her fate is unknown. Our driver remarks that a dream is only a dream if you wake up from it. If not, then it's your reality. Which causes the guy to remember something. He was the kid from the first story, and was still linked to her through their dreams, and every day he had to deal with the pain of her not being there. And that was why he came back. He had to see her again, and begs for forgiveness. He looks up, as the driver was the ghost all along, and then he smiles. Aside from all the fan service stuff, it is still a very good story, shedding some light on a few urban legends that no one really talked about. And as we know, Hachishaku-sama exploded in popularity after this. And this manga did get an anime adaptation, but only 2 stories. The first one is the one we all know and love. Chapter 2 is odd as it brings back our framing device from the manga, but then only covers the last story, Monkey Train. An odd choice, and then his story wraps up the main arc nicely. But I do kinda wish they went with some of the other stories. Either Kuni Kuni or Kankan Daran would have made for a good anime, in the same vein as the first story. And both of them still don't have an anime appearance, as of yet. But we've gone on long enough. But that about does it for this video. If you have any topics for future projects, then feel free to post them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not like, and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Still slowly recovering from the deletion. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Anyway, I'm Runya, invite you to join us again for the next night.
Weep not, poor children, for life is this way.